Hi there, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so glad you've carved out a little time to be here today. If you, or maybe a loved one, are thinking about the next step in your housing journey, just take a deep breath. You are exactly in the right place, and we're going to navigate this together. As a senior real estate specialist, or SRES, I absolutely love helping people find not just a house, but a true home. Today, we're diving into the Chicago Neighborhood Guide for Homeowners over 50, so let's jump right in.
It's completely natural to do this. The house itself usually hogs all the attention, right? We look at the beautiful layout, the updated kitchen, whether it's a single-story floor plan, and the neighborhood kind of gets pushed to the sidelines. But I really want to gently validate something important here. For homeowners over 50, the Chicago neighborhood you choose literally dictates your daily life, your health, and your independence. A beautiful house in the wrong location can unfortunately leave you feeling more isolated than before you even moved. So before you start scrolling through property listings, I want you to ask yourself a very grounded question. What does your daily life actually look like right now? And I mean right now. Not the life you had 10 years ago, and not the one you're imagining way down the road in retirement. Be really honest about your current needs. Are you still driving comfortably everywhere, or would you honestly rather have some other transit options? Do you want to be right down the street from family, or do you prefer a little breathing room? Actually answering these questions honestly will point you toward the right fit long before any computer algorithm ever could. And honestly, this beautifully illustrates why there is absolutely no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to finding your next home. Let's look at three real homeowners for a second: Margaret, Robert, and Diane. Every single one of them had completely different priorities for their next chapter: walkability, familiarity, and a fresh start. Seeing how they tackled their moves is really going to help you frame your own. First up, let's look at Margaret. You see, what Margaret was really looking for wasn't some specific architectural style. She was hunting for a lifestyle. She prioritized walkability above all else. She wanted that simple, daily joy of just walking out a front door to grab a coffee, hit the pharmacy, or stroll through a nearby park. Having public transit nearby mattered to her too, not necessarily because she needed it today, but as a deep, reassuring comfort for the future. Now, what's really cool is the tool Margaret used to turn that goal into reality, the AARP Livability Index. This is a fantastic, completely free resource that scores neighborhoods all across the country on 7 key categories. By zeroing in on the scores for walkability, transportation, and healthcare access, Margaret was able to confidently compare different areas around the Chicago region. It literally helped her narrow her search down to 2 highly walkable neighborhoods she hadn't even thought of before. Okay, let's switch gears to our next scenario because this highlights a totally different set of needs. Robert was 71 years old, and he had absolutely zero interest in starting over somewhere unfamiliar. Robert wasn't looking for a grand adventure, He just wanted familiar comfort. He wanted to stay near his church of 3 miles, his trusted doctor of 20 years, and his adult son who lived just a 20-minute drive away. 10. That was Robert's magic number. He deliberately and very smartly kept his search for condos and townhomes strictly within a 10-mile radius of his current life. And you know what? It worked beautifully. He found a ground floor unit in a maintenance-free community less than 4 miles from his church. It just goes to show you can find a place with less maintenance without losing a single thing you value. Not every move has to be this massive reinvention. Sometimes the best neighborhood is just a slightly different pocket of the one you already love. And then there's Dan. At 62 and recently divorced, Diane felt like her family home was just carrying a few too many heavy memories. She was truly ready to build something new, and she'd always been kind of curious about living closer to the city. For Diane, this felt like the perfect moment to embrace a fresh start and explore a totally new environment. But here's what surprised Diane during her search. She realized just how much the social fabric of a neighborhood mattered to her. It wasn't just about being close to trendy restaurants or museums. She craved genuine community, neighbors who actually say hello, a bustling Saturday farmers market, and a library she could walk to. By tapping into independent living community guides from A Place for Mom, she explored new areas and actually found a neighborhood with that rich social fabric. 2 years later, she confidently calls it the absolute best decision she's ever made. All right, let's pivot away from their stories and talk about you. Whatever your unique situation looks like right now, there are specific, actionable questions that tend to matter the most for homeowners over 50. Let's walk through these together. Think of me as your consultative guide here, helping you frame your own search with total clarity and peace of mind. I want to take a deliberate pause right here on this one, because it's the single factor most people severely underestimate until the exact moment they need it. Please, before you fall head over heels in love with a gorgeous property, ask yourself, how close is the nearest quality hospital, a trusted specialist, or a good urgent care center? Factoring this in early is literally one of the smartest things you can do for your future self. Next up, really think about what getting around looks like if you take the car out of the equation. Even if you're driving perfectly comfortably today, planning for transportation flexibility isn't pessimistic at all. It's smart, empowering planning for the years ahead. Flexibility just tends to matter more as time goes on, and knowing you have those transit options in your back pocket is a wonderful comfort. And that brings us to a really vital question. What is the social infrastructure like? I'm talking about things like libraries, community centers, places of worship, parks, and farmers markets. I really want to emphasize this point. These are not luxuries. They are absolutely necessities. These are the beautiful, essential spaces that keep us active, engaged, and deeply connected to other people as we age. In fact, AARP identifies community engagement as one of the 7 key factors in a truly livable neighborhood. And the harsh reality is, community engagement is one of the absolute hardest things to retrofit once you move somewhere that lacks it. You can always remodel a kitchen or update a tired bathroom, but you cannot easily build a community from scratch if that underlying social infrastructure just isn't there.
Okay, we also need to gently shift gears for a minute and talk about the full financial picture. When you're looking at a new home, it is so incredibly easy to get tunnel vision on the purchase price. But that price tag? It's just one number in the overall equation of your new life. We really have to look at the long-term reality to make sure you stay comfortable for years to come.
I'm talking about those ongoing financial factors, homeowner association fees, property taxes, and the everyday cost of local services. These can vary wildly across the Chicago area. Breaking down and really understanding these ongoing costs is every bit as important as the mortgage or the purchase price. It's how we ensure your new neighborhood fits both your lifestyle and your budget long term. To help with all this research, definitely remember to bookmark that AARP Livability Index we talked about earlier. It's such a beautifully simple process. You literally just type in your desired zip code, check out the breakdown across those 7 categories, and you can save yourself months of frustrating guesswork. It's just a wonderful, empowering starting point for your whole journey. Now, if you happen to be specifically considering an active adult community, I highly recommend checking out these 2 free guides before you even start visiting properties. The first one walks you through the nitty-gritty of costs, culture, and governance, so you walk through those doors feeling prepared, not overwhelmed. The second guide gives you a really honest look at the pros and cons, which helps you figure out if that particular lifestyle is even the right fit for you in the first place. I know navigating all of this can feel like a pretty big puzzle, but I want to reassure you right now, you do not have to do this alone. For a broader look at your options across Chicago and the south suburbs, an SRES can walk right alongside you. We guide you through the neighborhoods that actually fit your specific priorities, we connect you with trusted local professionals, and we make sure the move you make works perfectly for the life you're living today. I want to leave you with a warm thought that I hope brings you some peace. The right neighborhood won't tick every single box. Truly, no neighborhood ever does. But the right one will take the boxes that matter most to you right now, while leaving room for the years ahead. The goal is not perfection, just the right fit for this chapter. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on this explainer. If you'd ever like to continue the conversation, learn more, or just explore your options without an ounce of pressure, I warmly invite you to connect with Michelle Williams Homes. Take care, and here is to finding your perfect next chapter. But right before you close this explainer, I want you to ask yourself one last thing. What is the single, non-negotiable feature your next neighborhood must have to make you truly happy?